Masilela bekenze masilela unina wanaba umbhali wencwadi masilela kwabona lo siswati sithi sihambi uyasigcina nje awube solumphenya ukuthi uyaphi umgcina umonhle umvulela ahambe. It is our custom that when a stranger or visitor comes to our home, he's given the best treatment, is made to feel at home. And fortunately for Mage Masilela, Gogo, wethu, wabagcina labantwana. He kept these cadets who went through for better training across without any hassles, and they were able to connect their friends, connect the others without anybody interfering with it. And she did it so peacefully that it is for that reason today we are all here to remember this brave lady who was good enough to let his house, the office of ANC. But more and above all, we all need peace. Absolute peace. We need unity in order to be able to live and become a lesson to the younger, growing generations. Because where there is no peace, it is only accidental that there is progress. Otherwise, there's no progress when there is no peace. We believe that in order to precipitate peace, we need to be very kind. We need to accommodate any person you come across. Talk to him in a peaceful manner. Make him feel at home if he's a stranger. Greet him. Talk to your enemy. And eventually turn your enemy into your friend. That, in the long run, precipitate peace. We need coexistence. Our friends across the border, their problems are our problems. After the passing away of King Sobhuza, when there was Legodi, unfortunately, something went wrong, which didn't go according to what Queen Gwamile had in mind when he joined others to form the National Congress, South African National Congress, and went against what the King Sobhuza, wanted done. We all make mistakes. There's nobody who is immune. But when mistakes are made by some leaders, we begin to think aloud. are they really out to help the nation or out to destroy the nation? If there's anything that went against the grains of the struggle, we definitely have to apologize to our friends. But however, because this happened when there was no king, but when King Mswati was installed in position, he started to drive things to the original position, that of making peace. We are all created by God for the purpose of creating peace. We are grateful if our kings concentrate in this unavoidable duty for any leader. But if a leader becomes carelessly ambitious, he normally forgets what the electorate and the entire nation wants, and concentrate on what he wants, then things go wrong. We feel you're coming to Swaziland to have this get-together is highly appreciated by all of us, but in particular the King and the Queen Mother. And they feel, you'll all feel at home, you'll feel well accepted, and expect you to go out and look for places of interest. We have a lot of these places in Swaziland. So that when you go back home, you go back with a happy frame of mind. Some of you were at the Royal Crawl today. We are having a party of people who brought cattle, a malobolo, for a beautiful lady who was married outside the country. Fortunately, the lady came from Elutsitsini. We are there to celebrate, and there is nothing but dancing and feasting and talking, congratulating the people who brought the cattle, encouraging the lady married outside there to go on doing the right thing in order to give a better name for her parents and her country. Some of the people who came to attend this function were there, and we were happy that they participated, and the king agreed when I asked it. We asked them to stand up so that we see, and they were very happy. And I hope by visiting that they have been blessed, because we believe when you get to places of the Queen Mother, you have the blessings. Unfortunately, they didn't sit down to eat meat and drink the umkombotsi. They were in a hurry to come and join you here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very much disturbed to hear that Mandela is not well. But we hope God, who is kind enough, who can change things and make impossible things happen, will visit Mandela so that we should have some more days with this illustrious leader. I think I shouldn't go further than what I've said, because I've been asked here to come here by the King. Otherwise, there's quite a lot I would say, but I don't want to waste your time. Some people are diabetic and would like to continue with their food. Nguloko nebekunene ingosi infisela ukuthi ni yonke into ihambe kahle kuhlale ngekuthula kuhambe ngekuthula phindze sibonane nangemso nalo ingekho he is with you with the spirit. Thank you.
Bongwe, mali bongwe, mali bongwe, mali bongwe. Bongwe. You must watch me. If I do this, you go down. Libongwe, ma libongwe. Thank you. Yeah. Lomkhulu. I'm afraid they wrote something for me here to say I can't pronounce it. But I know the person I'm addressing will understand. Mfanenkosi. Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's difficult. You know, Lucky spoke about the difficulty of pronouncing English words. The deputy prime minister also indicated some difficulty with some words. And there's a lady in Majane who also had a very difficult situation. She asked her granddaughter to write an SMS to one of her daughters who is overseas. And you know the SMS language. So the message could not reach that person for some technical reasons. But now this old lady was worried. She took the phone, looked at the message and said, "But what did you write here?" That's why the message came back, because the people could not understand it. They sent it back for you to correct. So that's another problem with understanding words, and I'm also struggling. At this point, I'm going to say to you that last year we had a theme. The theme was to celebrate 100 years of liberation. This year, the theme going forward, we celebrate the fruit of freedom. Dr. Legodi is one of those fruits. I'm going to ask the good doctor, before you check my eyes, I'm going to ask the good doctor to stand up again. just stand up this time. And I'm going to ask the wife to the good doctor to stand up as well. And I'm also going to ask the fruit of this couple to stand up. Where are the kids? I saw them. Is it your brother? Oh, that's the brother. Oh, the sisters. Oh, okay. I misinterpreted the situation. It's another problem with weights. Yeah, thank you very much. Dr. Legodi, as indicated earlier, in 43 years, you know, that's very important to note. In 43 years, he is the first president, black, that's the operating weight, the first black president of the Ophthalmology Society of South Africa. Oh, I got it right. Thanks to my teachers. And it's very significant that he holds that position. It's very significant to the country back home, and it's also very significant to the trust, the foundation, the number 43 foundation, because in 43 years, he became the first black president of this society. We made the decision to honor him, to recognize him for that achievement long before he was approached. So at this point, we are going to ask him to come forward because we, you know, coincidentally, he was going to be recognized. Mama Gracia Machel was coming to speak, and coincidentally, Mama Gracia Machel chose him to represent him. So he's coming here with a different head. This time, whatever praises that come your way, they are yours. Keep them. So let us welcome the doctor back to come and say a few words to us.
Good evening again. His Royal Highness, Deputy Prime Minister, all protocol observed. It is such a great honor and privilege to address you tonight from a perspective of a medical doctor and especially in the field of ophthalmology. That is an eye specialist. DPM, not ICIST. I'm deeply honored, especially to have been recognized to be acknowledgement guest speaker in the celebration of such a great legacy. Number 43, Tolani Park, and the spirit of Komakoko. An important historical site that served as a home and a place of safety for many struggle icons, some of whom are no longer with us today. They may so rest in peace. I cannot help but embrace the importance and richness of our history and background. The mix of emotion that one experiences as one goes through the book by my big brother, Elias Masilela, number 43, Tolani Park, Komagogo, ranging from pain and sadness, empathy, anger, bitterness, are soon replaced by a deep sense of pride, honor, and great appreciation to know that our veteran leaders' work and lives were dedicated to us who came after them as left as sacrifice. The struggle members work hard by paving a way for us, youth, to enjoy the fruits of a free and democratic land so that we could take full advantage of the opportunities that our land had to offer to all those who live in it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is usually my chorus. My family knows this. I usually like to say, no English dictionary has been able to explain the difference between two words, complete and finished, in a way that easy to understand. Some people say there is no difference between complete and finished. I beg to differ, because there is. When you marry a right woman, you are complete. And when you marry a wrong woman, you are finished. And when the right one catches you with the wrong one, you are completely finished. Ladies and gentlemen, my wife said, oh, can she stand up, please, just to know everybody? I know you always stand up, and also my family this side. Ladies and gentlemen, I qualified as a doctor in 1996. Before I started, Ubra Elias asked me to talk about myself as a fruit of deliberation. I qualified in Medunsa as an undergraduate. Anyway, Medunsa produces and continues to produce the largest number of black doctors in South Africa. As a black doctor at the time, one could vividly feel the result of the racial divide that was there in the country at the time, even in the medical profession. Some of the hospitals during those times were only then starting to adapt to the notion of having black patients mixed with white patients. There was unapologetic and persistent use of Africans during ward rounds and on the patient's notes by some of the senior doctors. The signage of the doors and corridors were in Afrikaans. This was just a taste of experience of the old regime, the sense of feeling different in your own country, even as a profession. I developed a keen interest in the eye field ophthalmology, and I was accepted to become a medical officer, then study ophthalmology at the University of Natal. I tried to apply to all universities at the same time. All of them, they were denying me. At the time, there was only 6 black South African qualified ophthalmologists. I must say that those were the longest 4 years of my life. As a black young registrar, one had to prove himself over and above others that one was indeed deserving of a position of becoming an ophthalmologist. There was always a constant reminder that you are black and young, and in a way made to feel that you came to the field by default or favor. And as you can imagine, as I was going through the years of specializing, experienced the many challenges personally, academically, emotionally, and socially. It made me angry and bitter at every stage, because it seems to know that the struggle was beyond just learning and books, but it was just a bigger struggle. At some point, I had my bags packed, and I was ready to leave Durban, to go back home and stop specializing. Ladies and gentlemen, it was through sheer determination and drive to succeed at my goals that I qualified in 2003 as an ophthalmologist. The opportunity of being accepted at the university was offered to me by the result of persistence of the struggle of the past. The field that was studying it was popular for non-African people, and I was lucky to be accepted in it. It would have been disappointing for me not to persist and take the baton and to give up easily on the way. Today, I stand before you, the young people of today, rather because this is more relevant to them to say, seize the moment. There are endless opportunities for us today because someone made it easier for us. Someone's life was selflessly. Oh, that's the tongue. It's not that I cannot pronounce it. And in a very cruel manner sacrificed for, so that you and I could have a little easier. I think sometimes opportunities come once, and we need to seize those opportunities that give whatever challenge we might be facing. I thought I mentioned a few things that I feel are most important and relevant in our generation, that is the youth, in order for us to have a successful future. I believe there's a great strength that can be drawn from each and every one of them. Number one, education and knowledge. It is very important for us as the younger generation to acquaint ourselves with history and not ignore it as something in the past. The role that education can play in our life is truly immeasurable. If we're to take a leaf from the past generation and equally the leading guide of the youth of the Soweto in 1976, we can say with certainty that education is singularly and most important arsenal in eradicating legacy of apartheid and colonialism. Nelson Mandela and his generation understood that education was important for mass mobilization and making people conscious of the struggles for human rights and justice. As another struggle luminary, Moses Kotane once said, education had the uncanny ability to shift the thinking and understanding of society. He explained that teachers who were even loath to political activity ended up consisted through having to read and write letters of hardship from migrant laborers in the urban centers and mining opportunities. The second one is passion and determination. What drives you and I today is different from what motivated the youth in the past. You need to find what drives you as an individual and follow it. You must identify areas where you would like to make the most difference in your country. Follow that. Will you like to give or receive? Third one is unity. I believe today as the youth we need to be united in one struggle, and this should be in a struggle to achieve better in whatever we do. We need more role models. We need unity in improving our country. We need to continue to embrace the spirit of Ubuntu through patriotism. We need to be part of solution and not the problem. I believe that there's nothing we cannot achieve if we are united in our vision. Being a well-rounded, balanced individual. Without healthy lifestyle and social life, it will be very difficult to be all that I have mentioned above. The importance of having family as a support and strength can never be overemphasized. Maintaining a healthy way of living may seem like second nature to some, but it is the wake of the abundance of the stressful life that we lead and response that unhealthy habits like use of habitual drugs and excessive use of alcohol and smoking. It goes without saying that we need to learn a way of life that does not have harmful effects to our health, while at the same time enjoying the economic benefits of our work in a funny way. The spirit of living and Ubuntu, that's number 4. The truth is the notion of Ubuntu is a great quality that is not just taught to us from a young age coming from a black community, but is a way of life. This is something that makes you love South Africa and Africa as a whole. You could be anywhere, but no one gives wholeheartedly than an African person who will take the little that he or she has to give to his or her neighbor, not wondering even a little about what will be left for himself or herself for tomorrow. That is the same spirit displayed by Umagogo. Kwamagogo, putting others first despite your own security and safety being on the line. Being community and not self-centered. selflessness, great character of sharing, caring, and love. I serve on many international boards. Many of you may not know why I'm wearing this heavy chain. This year, on the 16th of March, I was inaugurated as the Ophthalmology Society of South Africa, OSSA president. As they've already mentioned, I'm the first black young president of Society after 43 years.